Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the 24 essential oils I think everybody should have in their collection. Before I jump into the more luxurious exotic oils that I feel everyone should have, I am going to insert the disclaimer from video number 1 right here. Up first, before we get into that, I do want to get into a little background and safety information. So I am a clinically trained aromatherapist. I am just shy of my clock hours for claiming my certificate. I started studying aromatherapy in 2012 officially, like at a school. I actually was introduced to essential oils. I've always used peppermint oil for breathing issues and lavender for sleep since I was a kid. But in 2010, the end of 2010, my son was diagnosed with cancer, and someone actually gave me a bottle of frankincense oil and told me to use it on him every night to give him a massage, and it kept him from getting sick. I really contribute his strength of his immune system while we were in treatment with the use of frankincense, and the doctors even were like, I don't understand why he's not getting sick, but we're going with it. And I was like, maybe it's the oils. And then as I studied and I learned more, I realized that they are very powerful on the immune system and have a lot of wonderful uses. So I started looking for programs, and I found Southwest Institute of Healing Arts and entered into a 2-year program studying massage therapy with a specialty in aromatherapy and craniosacral therapy. I have not completed my training. I started in 2002. In 2014, I got divorced, 2012. In 2014, I went through a divorce, and that kind of derailed, and I have spent, the last few years trying to take care of my family and be a single mom and stuff. So I do have intentions to go back and complete and claim my aromatherapy certificate, my craniosacral certificate. My massage therapy license, I'm not so sure, because I learned that massage therapy isn't maybe not something I want to do as a career. But anyway, all that to say, I do have formal training in aromatherapy, in a school setting, learning clinical applications for aromatherapy. So this is not just purely, what I've studied from a lot of really well-known writers on aromatherapy, people who have been in the industry for many, many years. I am not affiliated with any essential oil company. Because if I were to join one of those companies, I would not be able to be a registered aromatherapist in the future because of what can be seen as unsafe practices. So I can do a whole other video on essential oil safety, but I just wanted to give you a little background on where I'm coming from with this information, and also to say I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional, I have no training to actually treat or diagnose illnesses and dis-ease. I am simply sharing information to be used to support your path to healing. These are what I am using on my path to healing, and sharing the information that I have so that you can make the choice of whether you want to use these or not. And I do recommend, if you do have a medical condition, you are under the care of a physician, please share what you are doing with your physician. Essential oils are not without their cautions and side effects, and these are the concentrated chemical components of a plant. So you want to make sure that the chemicals from the plants are not going to counteract any chemicals that you may be using in medication. The 12 more exotic, luxurious oils I feel you should have in your collection, and I am going to go in order of how I will be introducing them in future videos in this series. We will start with sandalwood. I will give the disclaimer that every single one of these oils is my favorite oil. You do not have to have all of these oils. The first 12 oils are perfectly serviceable, will cover all of your needs. These are just a little bit of extra if you want to add some things to your collection. They are a little more exotic. Some of them are quite pricey depending on what you are getting, so bear that in mind. You don't need these. Essential oils quickly become a very expensive habit. So, because they just smell so good and they make you feel so good. Anyway, number 1 is sandalwood. Sandalwood is generally regarded as safe. Something to keep in mind when you are purchasing your sandalwood. I always purchase Australian sandalwood as opposed to true Indian sandalwood. In India, it is over-harvested. Now, the Indian sandalwood is what you think of when you think of sandalwood. That is where it originated. But I find that the Australian sandalwood smells just as well, has the same, a lot of the same chemical components as an Indian sandalwood. It's just more ethically harvested, and we don't want to deplete the original sandalwood forests. So it is grown in Australia, so I try to buy Australian sandalwood. It is good for your nervous system, for your respiratory system, and for your skincare. Number 2 is patchouli. Patchouli is also generally regarded as safe. Most people either love or hate patchouli. It's very earthy. I didn't like patchouli when I first was exposed to it, but as I've worked with it, I've learned to love that very earthy, pungent smell. So patchouli is good for your circulatory system, your hormonal systems, and for your skin. Number 3 is not really an essential oil per se, and it really doesn't have a lot of medical uses or, like for body system uses. It's very good for the nervous system, and I think because it's such a familiar and warming aroma that it automatically soothes the nervous system, and that is vanilla. Vanilla usually is found as an absolute. It's not found as an essential oil, so that means it's been extracted into an oil. It's not pressed from the vanilla itself, like the vanilla pod. You do have to be careful with vanilla if you have sensitive skin, but other than that, it's a very good fixative for aromas and kind of rounds out and balances things. Up next is clove. Clove, I love spicy aromas. Spicy aromas are one of my favorites. Makes me think of baking, like Christmas baking. Clove, you do have to be careful. It is a skin irritant. It is what's considered a hot oil, so it will burn your skin. One of my instructors at school, she was filling bottles of clove for a class and spilt the oil on her hand and ended up with burns on her hand. And it took quite a while to heal. And ever since then, if she's exposed to clove, too much clove, she works with clove too much, she actually will have irritation on her hands, it shows back up. So be careful when you're using some of these oils. They're very powerful. Clove is good for your muscular system, your circulatory system, and your digestive system, and part of that is from that warming quality that it has. Next is elemi. Used to recommend frankincense, but frankincense is on the risk of being over-harvested because it is such a popular oil for skincare, for cancer care. That is when I was introduced to frankincense. Elemi is similar in aroma, and it has a lot of the same chemical components as frankincense, so you can interchange the two, and elemi is a little bit more sustainable. It's good for your respiratory system, your muscular system, and your skin, and it's generally regarded as safe. Number 6 is bergamot. Bergamot, you do have to be careful of photosensitivity or sunlight sensitivity when you use it. You can get a bergamot that is bergaptine free, and that will help reduce the risk of damage from sun exposure. Bergamot is good for your nervous system, it is good for your skin, and it is good for your hormonal systems. Next is rose. Rose is generally regarded as safe. I love the fragrance of roses. It's good for your circulatory system, your reproductive system, and your skin, especially as you are maturing. It is really good for older skin. Myrrh is up next. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Myrrh is a wonderful, soft, resinous oil. Generally regarded as safe as well. Good for your nervous system, your respiratory system, and your skin. Jasmine. Jasmine is pricey. I have a little teeny tiny bottle. All I bought was a sample bottle, so I use it very sparingly, which is fine because it is very strong. Generally regarded as safe, good for your nervous system and your reproductive hormonal systems. Ylang Ylang, I love Ylang Ylang, and I'm heartbroken that my favorite essential oil company is closed because they had a complete Ylang Ylang that was the most heady, floral, tropical aroma I have ever smelled. It's just beautiful. Generally regarded as safe. Circulatory system, your hormonal systems, and your skin. Neroli is orange blossom. Where I live in the Arizona desert, we grow a lot of citrus, a ton of citrus. There are citrus groves everywhere. And in the springtime, when everything is in bloom, the entire city just smells incredible. I love that smell. Neroli is generally regarded as safe. It's good for your nervous system, your digestive system, your hormonal systems, your skin, and your circulatory system. And the last one on the list is one that you have to be careful about source when you purchase, again, because it can be over harvested, and that is rosewood. I bought my rosewood before I knew about over harvesting and sustainability, and I've had it for a while. So I'm careful with my uses of it because I want it to last me. It is generally regarded as safe. It has good for your respiratory, your skincare, and for your nervous system. So that completes the 24 essential oils I think you should have in your collection. The first video covered your 12 basic oils, and these are your 12 exotic, luxurious oils. And yeah, I'm going to pick 2 oils each month and dive into a little bit more information about them and uses and start sharing some recipes. So if that is something that interests you, please subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up if you liked this information, and I will talk to you all soon. And please excuse if you hear buzzing. There is a fly in my room. Gotta love living close to nature.